Good evening, fellow Americans. My name is Zara Shariari. We're in a very critical time in the history of our country. The devil, Mr. Trump, who is playing the role of a businessman, is portraying himself as a man who knows the economy and he can fix all the aspects of American economy. Well, funny is that he doesn't want to fix the economic issue of the woman who potentially would go down the rabbit hole of trying to seek abortion, but and he wants to put the blame on them, obviously trying to fix their problem in the first place. That would require a man to do so, and so it's much easier to point the problem at the woman who is a victim herself. By the way, I'm pro-life. I don't believe in that nonsensical things that is dividing our country, but as I made a video, abortion is not what you're thinking. 98% of times the doctor has to do examination and determine that in fact there is a pregnancy complication and the life of the mother is potentially at risk before he wants to implement the abortion. But going back to Mr. Trump, who plays supposedly portray himself as a very capable businessman, much of what we know about his business success comes from his role as an apprentice, where he also, interesting enough, pointed to one of his homosexual contestants saying that, it's just like why they have menus in the restaurant.
Are you a homosexual, Clay?
I am, yes, Mr. Trump, I am.
No, is that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you don't find Olive very attractive then?
No, I mean,
and you don't find Felicia very attractive?
They're beautiful women, but they're not my thing.
All right. That's why they have menus in restaurants, I like steak, somebody else likes spaghetti. That's why they have menus in restaurants. It's a great world.
That is his original way of looking at homosexuality. But moving on, listen, running a government is anything but a business. In fact, the government of the United States is the biggest nonprofit that we are having. What that means is that, especially in a capitalist market-oriented economy like that of the United States, the role of running the businesses and the enterprise is on the citizens, on the private citizens. The role of the government is playing the mediatory and moderation role to try to balance the power of the owners of capital and those who are essentially labor workforce for them and the ordinary people, to make sure that there is always something on the table for all of them. So having a skill as that of a businessman doesn't come handy when you want to run a country that is a non-profit. What you need to know is understanding economics. A businessman understands one thing in order to thrive, and that is cutting the costs and raising the profits. This is what he understands, and that's not how government works. I mean, maybe that's what you're thinking, in fact, but just try to imagine, trying to lower is this what you're hoping as an American to try to, that a businessman would do to you, to reduce your wages and raising the cost of the goods that you buy in the market? I don't know, maybe that's what you're thinking, in fact, then I'm just wrong. But that's exactly what a businessman does. That's the only concept and a notion that he understands. Cutting the prices, that is, the price of the labor, and raising the prices of goods that the owners of the capital are selling to you. And that's why you have a prime example of McDonald's that is now raising the price on the people who can't even afford having a time in their house to making their own sandwiches. Probably that's because partially you can't even find a decent, organic, well-priced item in the grocery aisle. So, long story short, I hope people reconsider that, and also keep in mind that it's funny that we have somebody who is by far wealthier than Trump, like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett. And Bill Gates is much younger, in fact, that he would be by far a better candidate. And funny is that, how are you going to stand up to these businessmen who are much better than you? I mean, obviously, Trump is now worth $5.5 billion. Recently just became, after what he did in 2016 and how he secured so much of financing from the Muslim Saudi country. But that to the side, yeah, they just give him $2 billion after he shut his mouth over the killing of the Washington Post reporter Jamal Khashoggi. They gave $2 billion to his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to help him fulfill his financial empire. But anyways, moving on, what I'm trying to say is that how are you going to stand up to those people? And of course, we have no rule or no agenda to try to increase their taxes. That's not what Trump is thinking, to try to shave money from their wealth, but he's thinking actually to let go of the income tax. But how, as somebody who has such a lesser amount of wealth, are you an ideal candidate in such a diversely much more wealthier individuals crowd to be able to come and try to mediate and try to moderate the finances of the country? Perhaps they're by far the better role. Maybe you should just try to let them come and try to do something. But actually, I have a lot of regard for somebody like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, because they understand their skills is not going to help them when it comes to running the country. The only thing they can do, yeah, cut the wages and raise the prices. Yeah, sure, works for them. And cut their taxes, yes, of course, so they can have better profits. I'm running for the office. If you want to assist me and support me any way that you can, as a volunteer or as a donation, I would appreciate it. All the links are in the description of the video. I would appreciate it if you share this video around and spread the message. I don't want anything for myself. I just want a better America. Take care.